Welcome to Fringe Toast. If this is your first time watching the show, I'd like to invite you to go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We got a lot of good content coming very, very soon. So right now we're kind of in a podcast kind of scenario, and you probably, if you're looking at our videos in the past, this is what you're primarily seeing, me and Matt sitting and having conversations, albeit very good conversations. We do hope to also hit the road very soon, especially as the COVID-19 situation kind of is relieved and we can get out and about. If you guys haven't been to FringeToast.com, I'd really like you guys to go over there and check that out. That's where you can find all of our links to our social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Also, we have a forum over there where you can voice your opinions, tell us your stories, and we'd like you to invite you to email us at fringetoast13@gmail.com. And we've recently began publishing blogs over there about various events that happen throughout the week, and we've also invited Rachel from the Metaphysical 3 to start helping produce some blogs over there, and so look for that as well. Today's topic is paranormal pets, and
this one I'm curious where we're going to go with this.
Okay, so this is what has been in the back of my mind for the past couple of weeks in regard to this, and I don't know why it is, and really I hopefully we can either get down to the bottom of it between the two of us, or we can invite you guys to show us what's up in the comment section, either on the video itself or over on Facebook, wherever you may be watching this at, to kind of shed some light on this. Ultimately, what happens to pets after their time in this plane of existence comes to an end?
So why aren't there more ghost dogs running around, essentially?
Right.
What we're getting at.
I want to know why the ratio just seems to be very skewed. Like, why is it that their life expectancy is so much shorter than ours, yet there are way less accounts of seeing these entities, any kind of ghost or spirit associated with an animal? I would think that number would be...
Theoretically, you would think, right? Because there's got to be a lot more running around than what we see.
I mean, there's been like three dogs in my lifetime, and I'm a dog person. I'm very much a dog person, but I'm not subject to like only talking about that. But that's where I found the majority of my research going, is dogs. Maybe that might be subconsciously a little bit of a prejudice that I had, but
I don't think so. So I have a theory on that as to why that would probably be.
Okay.
Every dog that we've ever had as a pet is the one we just got, God bless her, they're the most loyal, loving animals. Cats aren't like that. Cats don't give a shit. If you're in the house, great. If you're not, whatever. They don't care.
Well, the one story that I found that had to do with a cat, it doesn't seem to be there for any kind of interaction with a human.
Exactly. So I think that's why you see more dogs, because the dog is like, once it passes, it's like, I got to stay and protect my human. It's my job.
Right.
That's my theory. I've got other theories that go a little deeper than that. We'll get to those in a bit.
That's good. That's actually feasible. Thank you very much for bringing that to the table, for sure. So I did want to talk about a couple of the most famous dog spiritual, like ghost stories associated with dogs. One of which is the oldest one in American history, and that was the blue dog from Port Tobacco, Maryland. And so essentially what goes on in that story is a man was at a bar, he was getting drunk, his dog was with him, and he was talking about, well, the guy, I suppose, was a little bit arrogant and didn't know how things ran in that neighborhood, and was talking about how much money he's got and this, that, and the other, and he's got swagger. But he goes to leave, and he gets jumped, and the dog and the man try to do their best to fight off the perpetrators are the muggers to the muggy.
Is that the right word? Hold on. I feel like we're making up English again.
Anyway, so the guy leaves and he gets jumped, and the dog and the man try to fight these two perpetrators off, and unfortunately they did not succeed. The man was murdered, and the dog was too. But it turned I don't know why. So this story's from the 1700s. So there's a couple of missing holes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't just take what was in the man's pockets and leave, instead of burying the corpse and then coming back the day later. But the story goes that they buried the man's corpse. They came back the following evening to try to retrieve the money that the man had spoken that he'd gotten or had or whatever. And they were fought off by this ghost dog, the blue dog.
Really?
Right. So that's actually, from what I found, is the oldest ghost story attributed to American history. Now, there's even an older ghost story that goes pre-American history, and you may have heard of this one: the black dogs, the demon dogs.
Yes.
The big black dogs with the glowing red eyes,
which have been attributed as shadow creatures. So,
all right, well, it ties into last week's episode and the week before that.
Apologize for last week's, by the way, but
no, there was nothing wrong with that. You've been too.
So bad.
Matt has been beating himself up over last week's episode, and I thought it turned out very well, and I think that you did too. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. Give it a thumbs up so this man feels a little bit better about his work. You're being too critical for sure.
Probably.
So there's another old story, and that's of Poogan the Porch Dog. This is out of Charleston, South Carolina. So in the South, it gets really, really, really hot in the summer, and the porch dogs are what it sounds like. They're porch dogs. They hang out on the porch because it's too hot to be out in the sun or anything like that. And Poogan the Porch Dog is simply the story of a dog that likes to hang out on porches and has for the better part of 200 years.
Wow. Okay.
Like, he just never left. There's been owner that I think that his current resident actually was like an old mansion, old southern mansion, probably plantation. Let's just being real.
I mean, yeah.
But it's been turned into a restaurant, and Poogan the Porch Dog hangs out at the restaurant, and people report seeing him as they go in and out.
This is in Charleston?
Yes.
Okay. I need the name of the restaurant because when I go to visit my sister, I'm going to this place.
All right. We'll get it to you before.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it.
Stay tuned for that, guys. I'm actually visiting my sister soon, so I'll take the phone with me and maybe we'll get some video and see what we can find when I go.
Charleston in general is a hot spot for paranormal activity.
Oh, yeah.
There's entire channels on YouTube and creators that are based out of Charleston, simply from the fact that it has a lot of paranormal activity.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thing.
No,
it's
perfectly
thought.
fine. Another famous story also comes from the South again, and that is of Preston the Boxer. Now, the story of Preston the Boxer is that the dog. There was a car coming. It was a Halloween night. There was a car coming. There was a child out in the street, and the dog, pushed the child out of the way of the moving vehicle, and actually came to his own demise due to that. But the dog is still seen to this day, and now it's tradition in Nashville for people to leave out not candy for the kids, but also dog biscuits for Preston the Boxer.
See, I love that. That's awesome.
It's good stuff.
That's a lot of in the South, though, that you found. I wonder if there's a connection with you Southerners and your dogs. You guys love your dogs.
We do, man.
You love your damn dogs.
Dogs are close to a lot of jobs that are that were prevalent.
Hunting. Y'all love to hunt down here. You got your hunting dog.
Yes, exactly. There's different types of dog. Like, there's hunting dogs that specifically smell out the animal. There's hunting dogs that go to retrieve the animal after it's been shot. There's bird dogs. I mean, it goes on and on, and all that stuff didn't start in the South, but
Yeah.
the Southern United States was, I mean, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, both the Carolinas, even Florida, they were the earliest parts of this country's origin. Like we were the 13 original colonies.
You gonna sing the song for us?
That's how I remember it.
That's how I remember it, sadly.
So I have to. That's there. It's never leaving. It's been there since I was in third grade, maybe even second. I don't remember. So the other story that I had. Do you like the Brady Bunch?
I don't, but that's okay. Chrissy does.
I never really liked it at all. It was more of a thing that was just on. My parents would watch it, and so. But I do know who Christopher Knight is.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Christopher Knight had an experience with some spirits dogs as well. It was two hunting dogs, two hound dogs. He was staying at this house in Alabama. For
South again.
Yeah, he was staying in a house in Alabama for one reason or the other, and he was asleep, and he got awakened by these two dogs that jumped on the bed with him. Two fully grown hound dogs.
Huh.
To wake, they left the room. A little girl came to the door. I don't know what that was about, but there was a little girl that came to the door, and then the dogs followed her away.
So a spirit.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Was accompanied
Gotcha.
by the spirits of the two dogs.
Really?
Right.
That's interesting.
And when he woke up, he spoke with the owners of the home, or I'm not sure how Christopher Knight wound up staying at this house in this spare bedroom, but the owners or whatever, they capitalized on the event by saying, hey, there was a picture of the girl and the two dogs on their mantle. It had been part of their family. They had been part of the family. So they're in that. But still, even with all these stories and whatnot, I don't understand why we don't experience more than what we do. Because like I said, myself, I've had 3 dogs in my life that were very, very close to me, and I almost expect to have some kind of a interaction with them after their passing, but I have not.
I've got a theory on that, and anybody out there who's more knowledgeable than me on this, please give me a little more on this. But I've done a lot of. I mean, I've got a ton of books on Buddhism. I believe most of it myself.
I'm interested in hearing what they have to say, because I don't like the alternative that I have in mind, and that's the Christian story. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're referring to, and I don't like that either. But so in essence, the reason there's not more ghost animals, if you will, is because of rebirth. Essentially, an animal is a lower form of birth. Everybody is seeking a human rebirth, because the only way to gain enlightenment is with a human rebirth. So an animal isn't going to stay in the spirit realm as an animal for very long. They're going to want to, if they've got the karma, they're going to want to be reborn in the human realm, which is why I think you see more human. Plus, there is a spirit world in Buddhism, and it's mostly inhabited by humans anyway. So I think that's why you see less of the ghosts. And I think the ones that you do see are just that. They're lost spirits that don't know how to get back, because humans can get lost crossing over. Why can't animals? So that's kind of where my thought process is on that.
That's not too far different from what I'm hearing from the scripture, so to speak, or the interpretation of that scripture. It really, the scripture in Christian, the Bible doesn't really directly talk about this at all. The only thing that it does mention the fact that the lion will lay down with the lamb in heaven. But that's the only note about animals being in heaven. But what people really want to know is my dog, is Chachi, or is whoever, Milky Way. Are they going to be there whenever I go to heaven. And there's no direct answer to it. And most Christians say no because they don't have the choice they don't have free will to make the decision to follow Christ. Okay. And Christ is the only way to get to heaven.
See, that doesn't sit well with me either, because I mean, we just got our dog. I can't see that animal not being perfect.
Innocent.
Innocent. There you go. There's the word. And getting into that Christian belief of heaven, because that animal has absolutely no malicious content at all. She's never a malicious thought.
No, she's only living off of instinct.
Yeah. So you can't have malintent with that, period.
Right.
And
so where's the alternative? Like, okay, so if she doesn't have the choice to make the decision to follow Christ into her heart,
but isn't
Savior, as a personal Savior, and she doesn't go to hell. I mean, she shouldn't be damned to eternal. She shouldn't be damned to eternal flame.
Doggy heaven. We always teach our kids doggy heaven, right? It's a doggy heaven. Can we humans go to doggy heaven?
Right. This is probably the story that I was told as a kid, was something of the sort. I don't remember having that conversation with my parents. All I remember is like briefly having a conversation with an old guy at a church, and he broke it down to me like I just did to you. Like, they don't have the choice to. They don't have free will to make the decision.
I don't like that.
But me neither. But what is the alternative, and where? Why don't we? If they're in the middle, wouldn't this be in the middle? Where some people believe that that's right? What we're seeing is people that are stuck in the middle. They haven't crossed over. So, like, what? Well, I mean, I'm so confused with this. So this is like driving me nuts.
I'm sure you've experienced this, and hopefully somebody else out there is. I had a cat for a long time, and
I forgot the cat. I'll tell you about the cat in a bit.
We'll get the cat. Well, actually, we'll segue into the cat for this story because it might work. So my aunt found this cat. It was a Maine Coon that had been dumped at her vet's office in the back with a box with a bunch of other cats. They got rid of all of the Maine Coons. There was like 6 of them in this box, but one
Maine Coon.
Maine Coon.
Big
cats. They're cool.
You're going to put a picture up on the video so I can see it and I can see it too?
If I can find a picture of them.
Okay.
We've got some somewhere. I'll find one.
All right, thanks.
I'll find one. Anyway, so all of the cats were gone except this one. This cat hated everybody, and my aunt took him home. Well, I went to visit her one day, and the cat would not leave me alone. He sat on my shoulder. He sat in my lap, would not leave me alone, period. So I took him home. I have a theory that animals like that we have an instant connection with are people we knew in a past life, or somebody we knew in this life that died and came back as that cat or whatever. But they're souls that we already know. That's why there's that instant connection. So that's where that whole rebirth thing that Buddhism has comes into play, because you can be reborn at a lower level with higher karma. You just can't be reborn higher with lower karma. It's a whole thing. But so they probably chose to be reborn in the animal realm because it's easier. There's less time between, right? So that, I think, is where the connections with animals come from for a lot of people, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm way off base, aren't I? I'm totally losing everybody. It's okay. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, thanks. It's cool to bring up, but I don't know, man. Like, that's not too much better than what we just talked about. Like, what exactly the lesser than is the thing that I have a problem with.
Okay, so you don't like the fact that it's considered lower than.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I had an opportunity to come back as a dog, I may very well. It would be a difficult decision, but I may decide to do that.
So the only reason it's considered a lower rebirth is because of the fact there's no way to gain enlightenment, therefore nirvana. That's the only reason. So it's not less than, because the idea is we're all. we're all equal. So it's not as in they're lesser than you or I. It's just they're lesser because they can't get to nirvana is all it is. That's a creepy ringtone.
It's the only thing that gets my attention.
Get mine.
So I did want to talk about the one honorable mention cat. And that's
nothing wrong with cats.
There's nothing wrong with the cats. I like cats too. But I have more of a proclivity to dogs, simply because I'm more of a dog spirit, I think. Like,
my dog has proven that to me. Good Lord.
I'm kind of a bouncy personality. I love attention and talking to people. I'm not more of a, cats are more of a like, you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. There's no need for us to talk unless we got business together.
That's why I like cats.
I'm opposite. The complete opposite. Like, we got business together whether you like it or not. So the one honorable mention cat was the Capitol Hill Demon Cat. That's another famous one.
Not familiar with that one.
Well, you know that there's a underground corridor underneath the Capitol building, and they had to use it, as a matter of fact, recently to get away from protesters, quote unquote.
We'll call it that for safety reasons.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, you can call it that. We're just going to say that's what it is. But yeah, in those corridors, evidently there is a cat. I don't know why they called it a demon cat, because there was no like there was no scary inclination to this cat. It's just for the most of the places that I've seen it mentioned, it was more of like a house cat that somebody just seen all the time.
Spirit or like
the spirit of a house cat, because it would disappear. Might actually be like a legitimate cat down there.
Like, cats are creepy and will sneak around and can get into places you would not imagine. So
I would imagine that such an old building, it would probably have plenty of rodents for it to live off of. I mean, cats in general are very resourceful.
Yeah.
So it might have not have been a spirit cat. It was just a cat, a regular cat, like a living cat that they see from time to time. And, it's just elusive. But yeah, man, that's really all I have on the notes. You got anything to add? I read a book. This week, or over the course of the past 2 weeks, about this topic, and really, I don't know if I just chose the wrong one, or if they're all going to be cookie cutter kind of events, cookie cutter type of books. But essentially, what it was just like, hey, if they won't talk to you, they'll leave you a sign. They put signs everywhere for you to talk to them, and all they want to do is talk to you. That's all they want to do. And I mean, it was pretty much a diary of story after story after story of these people that had lost a pet and been trying to make contact with them. But they didn't really dive into the subject to say, why is this ratio off?
Do you want your engineering brain to go, hey, this is it, this is why?
Yeah, this makes sense. I want some statistics. I want a chart. Give me some charts, some bar graphs, I want an Excel spreadsheet with this information on it.
Well, but doesn't that go to the very nature of the unknownness, I'm making up words too, the unknownness of the whole paranormal thing that we're doing? Because who's to say that shadow in the corner that is just a blob is an animal, not a person?
Oh, that's a true statement. I never thought about that.
So
it very well could be an animal. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm going to leave this topic up for discussion. If you guys would like to leave a comment, I would be very much appreciative. Do you have, maybe you have had an experience with a past loved animal pet that you have had communication with? Maybe you'd like to tell us about it. Please Please leave comments.
If you got photos, share photos to the forums too on the fringetoast.com, because that'd be awesome. I'd love to see photos.
That too. Or email it to us at fringetoast13@gmail.com.
I feel like we're leaving something out. I feel like we haven't come to a
conclusion, but I think that we really need to be okay with that. Because if we beat ourselves up every time we don't come to a conclusion while we sit at this table of mystery, whatever you want to call it, the table of frustration.
Right now, yeah. I want an answer, damn it. It's hard not to have.
I don't think that we're ever. I think we need to start being more comfortable with the idea that we're going to sit down at this table and not come to a conclusion.
That's going to be tough. I'll try. I'll be good. We can do that. No conclusion. You all give us a conclusion. Please, for the love of God, give me a conclusion. I hate not having
or just
closure.
share. Ultimately, just share the conversation with us. Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, speaking of which, share this video. Share it on your Facebook page. Share it on your Twitter. Sharing is Karen, to quote some old friends of mine in the podcast world. It hasn't been George Norrie, and it ain't Coast to Coast, but I'm Bobby, and that's Matt, and you've been served Fringe Toast. Okay, so we had an idea, and I don't know how to. So,
go ahead, share the crazy idea.
Okay,
crazy.
Necrophonic is the name of an app. It's like a spirit box app, and we've witnessed it work before. I mean, when we were with Fox Family Paranormal at the Chaos Haunted House. They used this thing in the basement, and we heard people literally singing along to
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash. The go down, down, down.
Yep. Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire. That's the name of the song. But so I had an idea. An idea, and I wondered if she is camera shy or she was taking a nap.
She was sleeping, and I woke her up.
Oh.
It's okay, though, baby.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the Necrophonic, and we're going to try to talk to Trixie. So let's
see what happens. Let's see what can happen. Trixie, you want to say something?
You want to say something?
You want to tell us?
You want to be on the show?
How's she feeling? No, Bobby's your favorite. I know. Bobby's your favorite. I know.
Trixie, is this your first time on planet Earth? Is this your first time here?
Just your first go round?
Trixie?
I don't know. I didn't catch that. It said something. I didn't catch what it said, though.
I thought it said no.
That's what I thought. So let's see how many times have you been around? 4. I heard that playing today. Are you on trip number 4? Yes.
What did you do before you were Trixie?
It's a yawn. It's a big yawn.
Are you sleepy? Were you trying to take a nap? We interrupted you?
Yes. I heard the yes. Party? Do you want a party? Yes. I know you do. Oh, man. You want to say something? You want to say something? Something else? Are you happy here? No. Did you hear no? I heard no. Not right. You're tired, huh?
She probably means like directly here. She looks so annoyed at us right now.
Say, I just want to go back to bed.
Okay.
You want to go back to bed?
All right. So that was fun.
It was a shot. What the hell?
That's a good post-credit scene.